Thank you for that introduction. It makes sense to get your audience to buy into your presentation as soon as possible. That's a no-brainer, right? Can I hear a yes? Show me a hand if you'd like me to show you 6 techniques, 2 magic words, and 1 fun exercise that will enable you to captivate your audience from the first word of your presentation all the way through to its last. And can I hear a yes? You're going to like this section. I'm going to make so bold as to make 3 cast iron guarantees. 1, you will learn something. 2, you will learn something that will dramatically increase your confidence in public speaking. And 3, you'll learn something that you're able to put into practice immediately. Is that okay? Yes or yes? Is it alright if I ask everyone here what they think is the #1 way to get an audience involved in your talk? Yep, that's a great point. Yep, I hear that, definitely. Yeah, that's a great insight. Yeah, well, look, these are all excellent contributions. Thank you. What is the #1 way to get an audience involved in your talk? Before I answer that question, is it alright if I tell you a personal story? Hands up if you've ever been to a funeral. I went to one right about this time last year, just as she was beginning to really open up and start to enjoy her retirement. My mother lost a brief battle with cancer. Her life had not been a bed of roses, but she never expected it to be. Even if it seemed that the stairs she climbed were covered in broken glass, she kept going. Now that might sound like someone you know. It might even sound like you. Even though she never had much, that kind of spirit I always used to find inspiring, and still do. Well, imagine you had to give the eulogy at the funeral. Please close your eyes. Imagine this scene. You're in church. You walk up to the pulpit. You hear 2 sounds. The insubordinate squeaking of your new leather shoes. The awkwardly amplified rustling beneath the microphone as you reach into your left pocket, take out your notes, and straighten them out on the lectern. You pause. You take your eyes from your notes. 150 pairs of eyes are staring at you. For a moment, you're barely able to open your mouth. They're all looking up at you, all looking to you to guide them through their pain. You ask yourself, can I do this? You feel knotted up inside as if you were about to paddle off a waterfall in a kayak. But as fast as your heart is pumping, you know that this too shall pass. And realizing that, you look up, you breathe deeply, you smile, and begin. Please, open your eyes, everyone. That is the #1 way to get an audience involved in your talk. Tell them a story. Pamela Rutledge wrote an article in Psychology Today explaining why. 1, stories are about collaboration and connection. They transcend generations. They engage us through emotions. They connect us to others. Through stories, we share passion, sadness, hardships, and joys. We share meaning and purpose. Stories allow us to uncover what we have in common, to communicate. They overcome our defenses and our differences. 2, Stories are how we think. Stories are how we explain how things work, how we make decisions, how we justify decisions, how we persuade others. 3. Stories take place in the imagination, but to the human brain, imagined experiences are processed in exactly the same way as real experiences. Stories move your audience in the direction you want them to go. They're powerful. VACAD stands for visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and analytical detail oriented. Some people respond best to what they see. So in the funeral story, we use visual cues like the bed of roses, the glass all over the stairs, the eyes looking up at you. Some people respond best to what they hear. That's why we use sounds like the squeaking shoes, the papers rustling under the microphone. Some people learn best by doing things. That's part of why we had you close and then open your eyes. It's why we describe the physical motion of reaching into your left pocket and the action of straightening out your notes on the lectern. It's why we had the simile of the kayaking off the waterfall. Other people are more detail and analytically minded. That's why we have the exact number of eyes, remember? 150. It's why we have the quote from the Attar of Nishapur, "This too shall pass." You'll have noted that I've just given the detail-oriented the source of the quotation. You may already know the term DISC here is another acronym, but while VACAD refers to learning styles, DISC describes personality types. Psychologists identify 16 of them. The DISC acronym collects these into 4 groups: dominant, influencer, steady, conscientious. The takeaway here? Make your message fit your audience. That's obvious, right? Well, that leads us on to the first of the 6 techniques I promised you. 6 techniques all neatly summed up in the acronym the eye. 3 fast facts about the eye. 1. Did you know that the eye, each eye, has over 200 million working parts? 2. 80% of your memories come from what you see. 3. You can forget about 50 Shades of Grey, because your eyes can distinguish about 10 million different shades and colors. Back to the acronym. T. A tag question turns a statement, for example, "You are listening to me," into a question. You are listening to me, aren't you? You know I'm a lawyer, right? Well, you must never ask a child a tag question in court, unless you want to see the judge grimace like a pit bull, get heavy with the teeth gnashing, see spittle flying out of his eyes. Sorry, spittle flies out of the mouth, doesn't it? Eyes pop out of his head, steam whistle out of his ears as he flays guts, spits, and roasts you in the courtroom. The reason? Children feel compelled to answer tag questions in the way that they think the person asking the question wants them to. Tag questions are almost hypnotic. You know, adults feel this pressure too. And of course, if you're trying to condition the response of your audience, that's exactly what you want, isn't it? Show me your hand if you've learned anything in the last few minutes. You guys are the best progressive unlimited success audience I've ever worked with. No question. I can say that because you're also the first unlimited success progressive audience I've worked with, but you will be a hard act to follow. H. The H is for hand raising. As a speaker, you are constantly fighting the weight of gravity, forcing people to switch off, tune out, and forget you. Show me a hand if you've ever found yourself daydreaming in a speech. Asking people to get physically involved by raising your hand can actually save your speech. The E here is for environment. If it's too hot, too cold, too comfortable, too uncomfortable,